Continue my question later. Alright, so what was the worst thing that ever happened to you? We're starting with Sweden. We start with America.
Probably the worst thing that ever happened to me was the Swedish-Polish wars. I was very lonely at that time. I just wanted to be with Finland. I also tried to get Estonia, but eventually Poland got really mad at me. Yes, and eventually almost everyone hated me. It was Denmark, Russia, Germany, and especially Poland, Lithuania. So I had to turn back once we were winning the battle, and that's how the Swedish Empire came to an end. So it's a long story, but you know, it might take up too much time. Yeah.
For me, it would probably be during the COD Wars, because it takes forever. So,
look to your right.
Yeah, the story is, England just went over to my house and started stealing my fish.
What? England, why? No, why do you want the fish? No, you just burn it anyway. Oh!
Even though I wanted to maintain neutrality to all countries, I had to take action. So it took forever, but eventually I won again.
England, you and your fish.
As for me, being the English Empire, being the empire of the British Empire, I had many colonies, and I admit, they were all, I treated them all like children, although not exactly everyone was. I think the most painful moment was when I finally let go of my final colony, who would be Hong Kong.
I lost my money.
No, with all due respect, it was painful for me with America. However, I gained a lot of colonies after that. I'm not saying that he's nothing else, but sorry.
I'm right beside you.
I already told you I was proud of you. Anyway, the thing is, do you know the moments that when you finally lose everything, you finally realize how precious they were? And I guess that would be the most painful thing, letting go of the final thing that made you who you were. And that would be the greatest empire the world has ever seen. However, I do enjoy being a nation. I do enjoy being myself, but and some days when it's raining and I have a cup of tea, I like thinking about that past.
Hey, look, my right here. I'm kidding.
50 bucks for Revolutionary War, bro. I lost my money.
Are we still doing this? Is everyone watching? Alright, sad moments, huh? Well, nothing really ever sad happens to me, because everything great happens to me, ever. Dude, my birthday, July 4th, it was just best, man. But I think if I'm gonna be real here with you guys, I think one of the most painful moments is when you think you're about to go insane. I think you know this. I'm gonna be really frank about this, because you think getting freedom from this is just the worst thing that can happen to you.
Yes.
It's not. It's going to get worse. I'm telling you, but you know what, kid? It's gonna be worth it. Okay?
Okay.
You're going to fight with yourself. It sounds weird. Don't Davy Cart me. Don't you? That's a different kind of hurt.
Different kind of hurt.
It's a different kind of hurt. No, but seriously, when you split yourself into, you start just losing it. I know there are rumors that South that South is still around. You see, there is a reason why it's called North America. So yeah, brush up on your Civil War. You know all about Civil War, don't you?
The most painful experience for me would have to be the fire of Moscow. It was when I had to burn my own capital to prevent Francis from overwhelming. Then the next event would have to be the dissolution of the USSR. Everyone recognizes for me.
For me, the saddest thing that happened would be during the World War II, when Japan took me away from my home. I mean, yeah, I know Kim doesn't like me that much. It's kind of obvious. But it's just, I just wanted to respect me, and when Japan actually took me away, it really hurts, you know. And then there was this incident that my brother North got taken away from me as well. So it's kind of complicated right now.
So like my worst, I like really have to like elaborate because I felt like England never talked about it.
I swear.
So like, as the handover in 1997 approached, my people, a lot of them moved to different places like Canada because they didn't want to be under China. So, and as for me, I like didn't hear about it until later. I mean, I knew that the 99-year lease of the new territories and the other in Kowloon were going to run out in 1997, but I didn't expect that England was going to give me as well after. I thought it was just those territories. I didn't want to leave.
Me and Hong Kong actually has the same case. In case you didn't know, I was under Portugal rule. Even before him, we had the same relationship as England and Hong Kong. And so I kind of know how he feels. My worst time during my worst time in history would be the turnover from Portugal to China rule during December 20, 1999, which means that I was under Portugal rule for 422 years. Apparently I was the most loyal colony for Portugal. Because without Portugal, I would never be here right now. I would be just a crummy little fish port. Just like Hong Kong. China never really did recognize us. I never really agreed on the transfer actually, but I had to do this for Portugal.
Oh man. So that means I'm getting the short end of the stick, aren't I, Aru? So they say, Aru. Well, I know that my brothers might not, you know, they might have some animosity for me, Aru, even though I do try my best. And, you know, with them feeling that way for me, I just have to say it. I mean, I feel really disappointed, Aru, because, I mean, sure, maybe in the past we had our differences, Aru, and maybe I didn't give them as much attention as I should have, Aru, because I mean I was very busy back then, Aru. I mean I'm still busy right now, Aru, but even now at least I'm trying to collaborate with them, Aru. I am trying to collaborate with the both of you, Aru. You know, up to certain limits, Aru. Yes, I know, kind of strict, Aru, but you know, I mean I just feel. I mean, you already taken it from me once, Aru. It's not going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be very hard if you're going to go again, Aru. Anyway, Aru, for sad moments in history, like I said, I don't really, with all of my 4,000 years in history, Aru, I do not like to dwell on past issues, and I'd rather to just move on, though if I were to share, it would be very hard for me to pinpoint which point in history were the saddest for me, because there would be, I guess, the Opium War, where in a historical standpoint, it wasn't just England, okay, Otto, he doesn't deserve all of them. It was also kind of shared between all of the other European countries, especially France, even Germany, and even a little bit in the end, America. Though at least Russia was the nicest one out of all of them to me, Aru. So I thank you for that, Aru, at least. But I mean, apart from the pillaging the resources, I was actually quite an isolated country back then. I mean, not country, empire. I was a great empire. And then I was just, you know, forced to be taken apart. And that's just really hard on a person, because when you feel helpless and you see the people in your country and they are suffering and there's nothing that you can do because you're practically drugged down, Aru. Drugged, not dragged. Drugged down, not hen. But anyway, Aru, so apart from that, I was also going through hard transitional times, like from empire to actual nation, Aru. It wasn't an easy transition. And then there was, I mean, I managed somehow to collect myself from the ruins of my once lost empire, Aru, and I'm amazed. And then there was also that one point in history where it's also really hard for me to mention, but what Japan did.
That hurts. They put little children on the screen and then poke them with a snake. Very good.
The scars will heal, but they will still remain, Aru. But we just have to keep strong. And despite all that, you try, Aru. Because, you know, there are hard things in the past, but always remember that there is a future that you can march forward to. And I would like to reiterate that I love my family very much, Aru. As an Asian, I prize family #1 above all, Aru. Even though you might think it's food, okay? It's not food. It starts with an F also. But it's not food, it's family, Aru. Okay? I love you too, Aru. I know you're just saying that. I love you too, all, Aru.